Now let's talk about antidepressants and tinnitus. I'll give you a quick simple rule that you can go by to always know what you should and shouldn't take. Hey, what's going on? This is Liam from Liam Stops Tinnitus, and in this video we're going to talk about tinnitus and antidepressants. Now a quick backstory, when I was 20 years old I got diagnosed with tinnitus from noise trauma, from drums. And I spent the next year of my life from 20 to 21 crying all the time, habituating with 10 out of 10 tinnitus. I could hear it ringing all the time throughout the day, trying to sleep. Even playing drums, I had to stop playing drums. Now, what I did was I did a bit of research on doctors because previously in the last, 5 years before that, I cured my ulcerative colitis, which is diarrhea all the time, through diet. Whereas doctors tried to put me on Salavox. So I thought doctors don't know everything. So I researched doctors, okay? And I researched and realized that in their whole entire medical training in Australia, UK, and America, unless they become a PhD specialist, they get 2 weeks training on nutrition and 2 hours training on sleep. Which is crazy because those two things are very, very crucial and important for health. If you don't get enough sleep, you die. If you don't get enough nutrition, you die. So why aren't they getting enough training on those two things? So I realized what was happening was drug companies own universities, and what they do is they donate millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars to universities on the condition that drug companies are allowed to put one of their representatives on their board of directors and decide what goes in the class curriculum. They're going to force the doctors in their classes to learn about drugs and give people drugs, okay? Which makes you sick. So that brings us to antidepressants. Now to go back to my story before, I went all over the world, Belize, I went to Romania, I went to Asia, I went to Chiang Mai, I'm in Chiang Mai right now, I've been to Bali, went to all over the world trying to figure this stuff out. Cold showers, cold dips, cold ice baths in Romania, that's rough. And I've got rid of my tinnitus 100%. And I'm not just ignoring it, I'm not being happy and habituating. I personally think that's not how you do it 100%. Sure, it might help, but it's not how you do it 100%. There's always a chemical culprit to tinnitus. Now let's talk about antidepressants and tinnitus. I'll give you a quick simple rule that you can go by to always know what you should and shouldn't take. First of all, I think most drugs shouldn't be taken. There's not a point if you have proper nutrition. Second of all, just remember this simple rhyme. If it has fluoride or bromide, run and hide. Okay? Now why is that? A little bit of a lesson. So your thyroid gland, which is twice as big in women by the way, controls your hormones. It helps regulate your hormones. Now, one of those hormones is your adrenal glands, okay? Your secretion of cortisol, which are located, both adrenal glands are located above your kidneys, okay? Now, your thyroid's job, okay, is to regulate all that and make sure it's working properly, not working in overdrive, and make sure it can turn off and on. The sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, okay, that's what happens. Now I'm just going to give you a really simple analogy, okay, to make this really simple. First of all, most antidepressants and a lot of things like Roaccutane, some forms of Roaccutane, can actually contain bromide and fluoride. Why is this a problem? First of all, take a look at the halogen table, okay, we're going to bring that up now. Everything in there is toxic except iodine. You need iodine to function. The government took iodine out of our diet in the 70s and put in bromide, okay? Why they put in bromide and not fluoride? Because bromide has the closest chemical compound to iodine, so the body thinks that bromide is iodine. So as I said, your thyroid is used to regulate your hormones, okay? Let's just focus simply on the adrenal glands. It has to regulate your sympathetic nervous system and make sure your parasympathetic nervous system is working to keep your fight or flight mechanism in check. Otherwise, you'll always be freaking out, stressed out. You'll secrete more cortisol. Your nervous system is going to go into fatigue. You won't sleep, so your melatonin won't work. It's a whole complicated system, but basically know that fluoride and bromide will cause you serious problems. Imagine it's like this. So iodine in your thyroid is kind of like a kid's soccer team, and you've got this awesome coach, which is iodine, telling each kid where to go, and each kid represents a hormone. Melatonin, testosterone, cortisol, right? It's telling everything where to go. Do this, do that, do that, and it's all working in harmony perfectly the way it's supposed to work. Now, when you get rid of iodine, the government took it out of our diet in the 70s, and you put in bromide, the government put it into our diet in the 70s, and fluoride in tap water. What happens is, that's like getting that awesome coach and replacing it with a fucking parakeet in a cage. Alright guys, we're going to pay attention to this parakeet now. The kids go, okay, and it starts squawking, and the kids have no fucking clue what to do and they're running around and nothing's happening. It would be better if the bromine wasn't there at all, if I had no coach. Does that make sense? So when you take iodine out of your diet and you bring bromine and fluoride in, which is an antidepressant, you cause a fucked state in your body. So there's a way to counteract that. The first thing is to never get on antidepressants. If you're on them, that's okay. Talk to your doctor about weaning you off them. Also, if your doctor was the one that recommended you take them, fire your fucking doctor. Secondly, this is Lugal's iodine solution, okay? All you're going to do, as long as I don't spill this and you can see. Now here's the interesting thing. You can't patent iodine, so drug companies can't make money off iodine. So why have they told you to take it? And why they tell your doctors to tell you to take it. Very simple. Don't take antidepressants, and if you're on them, get off them. Don't take antidepressants.